the job right now of what Rule's done.
Pretty well hit. Back to the track, to the wall. Gone! The game is tied.
Hit well out to left. And it is gone! Nick English!
And folks, the Cats are going to the Super Regionals.
Friday Night Baseball in the Lone Star State. It's day one of the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. And in the nightcap, a rematch of last year's Fayetteville Regional as Kansas State, fresh off their second ever trip to Supers, looks to right the ship after a 1-4 start against perennial power, 5th ranked Arkansas, who has looked dominant, winning each of their first 4 games. Hi everybody, welcome back inside Globe Life Field alongside the former big league pitcher Pat Combs. I'm Ben Wilson. You lose all 3 starting pitchers from Arkansas's elite staff? No problem. They've been awesome. Just 2 runs a game allowed through the first 4, and they fully expect, Pat, that to lead them into another deep playoff run.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Ben. I mean, you think about Arkansas pitching staffs, you know, Matt Hobbs, Dave Van Horn, they don't have to rebuild. They just reload. And you've got guys like now Gakel, Root, Beidelshees. I mean, these are 3 of the top arms in college baseball. Arkansas is loaded on that pitching staff.
Allowed just 8 runs in a 4-game sweep over Washington State. Now take on a Kansas State team that's scuffling as we bring you their lineups, brought to you by Amegy Bank. Offense, though, wasn't necessarily the issue. They did just score 9 runs in their last loss, a game at 6th ranked North Carolina in the midweek, and will start one of the most exciting two-way players in the Big 12. Freshman Dante Lewis leads off, while some intriguing newcomers, including the native of Japan, Shintaro Inoue, has provided a good bat for Pete Hughes' team and anchors the bottom of the order in the 8-hole. That's a good look at the 7th-year head coach for K-State, Pete Hughes, as his Kansas State Wildcats reach Supers for just the 2nd time in program history. They will have a tough task tonight, though, Pat, against Gabe Gakel, preseason first-team All-SEC, and this is a fastball that is as good as it gets at the college level.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's no hiding it. It's an upper 90s fastball. He'll sit 95, 96, but it's explosive off his hand. And not only that, he's got some great stuff behind it. It's the power arm plus the command. It's just an entire arsenal. Slider, curveball, changeup, all plus pitches. No doubt he'll be a high draft choice in his draft, but there's just no weakness in his game.
Not much weakness in the Arkansas defense either. Only 2 errors in their first 4 games. Tons of speed in the outfield with Justin Thomas Jr., who's in there primarily for his defense. And Vahiva Aloy, an outstanding shortstop who anchors the left side of that defense. Well, not only is it a big challenge if you're Kansas State, Pat, struggling as a team, 1-4, you're facing an elite pitcher, but you also have to go against a crowd here that is probably 95 to 98% Arkansas fans as we get things going tonight.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You look at the stands, it is covered in that maroon Arkansas color, and those fans are loud. They love baseball. They take that crowd from bomb anywhere in the country, and they love being here. It's a 70-degree day inside this dome stadium here in Arlington.
I feel bad for that one guy right in the middle there wearing the K-State polos. We're underway. Dante Lewis watches a 97-mile-an-hour miss just outside after taking a first pitch strike. Lewis actually got the start at pitcher in K-State's last game, and the defense really let him down. A bunch of unearned runs behind him. Didn't get out of the first as he takes a curveball in for a strike. But they love what they have in Lewis, part of this Kansas State club that finally made it back to the postseason last year. And not only that, but they made a deep run, knocking off heavy favorite Arkansas in that regional. As Lewis golfs a fastball into shallow left field. There's Aloy making the call and the catch to start the game.
Yeah, Dave Van Horn says that Gabe Gakel simply has a great heartbeat. And when a coach says that, it just tells you not only a lot about the makeup, the composure, who he is as a player. It's the passion for the game, but it's also how he controls the game. His heart rate just stays low. He doesn't get caught up in the moment, and that's so key for a big-time pitcher like Gabe Gackel.
It's Micah Dean digging in. Takes a fastball just inside. Clearly Pete Hughes trying to shake things up a little bit. Have not had much success as a team. So Dean, the redshirt freshman, is in there. Only 8 ABs in the first 5 games. Welcome to the starting lineup as he takes a fastball high. Here comes 96 with some heat right at you.
That's right. Fresh off the bench, you know, Pete Hughes is going to shake things up to try to get that offense going. And, you know, he's going to go with young players, even if they haven't had much experience, especially seeing a 97, 98 mile-an-hour fastball.
2-0 is pumped in there for a strike. It's not like Gabe Gackel just came out of nowhere, though, as much as the talking point this offseason was Arkansas having to replace all 3 starting pitchers. The 2-1 on a slider fouled off. It's 2-2. Was awesome as a freshman reliever. 2.32 ERA a season ago. 57 Ks in less than 43 innings. A 167 average against. And he won't maybe touch 100 now that he's a starter, but you know he has that arm.
Oh, it's in there, yeah. And I think that was the biggest question mark coming in as this ball hit sharply to Aloy at short.
Another play for Aloy, another put out as it's 2 up, 2 down.
But the biggest question mark coming into the season for Gackel was just that transition from closer to starter, and not a huge transition for him because he's got the strong arm. It's just mainly stretching his arm out to allow him to get to that 6th, 7th inning, and he starts.
Well, the coaches say he has a great heartbeat, and watching him in front of this big crowd tonight, you believe is head coach Dave Van Horn. That's an attempt to bunt for a hit. D. Kennedy puts it down. The throw is wide as the diving Kennedy, a transfer from Texas, already making a big impact in a K-State uniform, reaches safely.
Well, it's a great pickup by Brent Iredale at third base. Came charging in hard and anticipated the bunt from Kennedy. Was in good position to make the play. But had to be quick with the throw with Kennedy's speed. That snap throw over to Rocco Pepe pulls him off the bag, and Kennedy will be safe at first.
Kennedy's 7th hit, one of 4 players to start every game so far for Kansas State. This is another one of them as he dives back safely. The bats have not been the issue for Kansas State. Seth Dardar has been a big reason why. 9 for his first 20 with a homer and 3 driven in. Outstanding production for the grad transfer from Columbia, who missed all of last season with an injury.
Yeah, Dardar fits this lineup, but it's really a Pete Hughes type lineup. It's made up of gritty guys that do a lot of good things well, and Dardar certainly fits that mold. He's a guy that has a lot of pop, but not afraid to spray it around either.
Dardar takes a first pitch fastball outside. K-State loves to run as well. Swing and a miss on that fastball. Part of the struggles, though, have been despite getting a lot of base runners, they've run into a ton of outs, just 3 for 9 on stolen bases so far this season. K-State was a team that led the Big 12, 138 stolen bases a season ago. It just has not been there so far.
And Gackel paying plenty of attention to D. Kennedy. Kennedy always a threat to run. Transfer from University of Texas just brings great athleticism and a ton of speed at the top of that lineup.
Outside with the fastball for Seth Dardar. As good as the numbers were at Columbia, 299 with 8 homers. How often did you see pitching like this in the Ivy League?
Probably not very often, if any at all. But yeah, you'll have to cut down that swing. That was a long swing at strike 1, and not going to catch up to that fastball with the long swing tonight.
Off speed with a curveball, misses high, 3-1. Gackel was drafted out of high school by the Cincinnati Reds in the 20th round, decided to go to school. His 3-1 misses inside. has not quite had his normal fastball command out of the gates, and after the bunt single with 2 outs, Dardar draws a free pass.
Yeah, just a tad off so far with the fastball command, and that pitch definitely inside off the plate. There's the pitch tracker, and just a tick inside.
Nick English digs in and takes a first pitch strike on a breaking ball. As much as it's the first inning, you figure if you're Kansas State, you don't get a whole lot of these opportunities. A chance for Nick English back in the starting lineup. He watches a breaking ball just miss, 1-1. 235 with a homer so far for a mainstay of last year's order. Belts one into left field. Davalon giving chase. Long run into the gap, but he has room to make the catch and hangs on despite colliding with Justin Thomas out there. Nick English did miss a homer by much. Good job by Davalon staying with it, and all smiles for the Arkansas outfielder as we go to the bottom of the first with Arkansas coming up for the first time.
Possibility. At Shriners Children's, we deliver healing to kids with critical burn injuries, like game-changing advances in regenerative medicine and creating the highest standard of care. We never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs, proving time and again what's possible by empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
To the bottom of the first, 0-0 with Arkansas's lineup, brought to you by Amegy Bank. Off to a great start, have run ruled 2 of their first 4 games, 34 combined runs, and have the Aloy brothers now hitting 2 and 4 in the order. Vahiva in his second year after transferring from Sacramento State, and Kuhio, who's been a revelation, his younger brother transferring in from BYU. Those two sandwich Brent Iredale, who is the player of opening weekend for Arkansas. The New Mexico JUCO transfer has been incredible, and they face Jacob Frost, a veteran for K-State who's been utilized exclusively out of the bullpen so far, a couple outings in relief. Today, Patty gets his first start, and he's got a great arm. It's just all about the consistency, or in his case, sometimes inconsistency.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it's never easy to rebuild an entire weekend rotation, but that's the task at hand for Pete Hughes' Wildcats. And Jacob Frost getting the start today. He says, look, it's a little bit of a puzzle right now on who's going to be our top 3 rotation guys, but he likes Frost stuff. Says he's got one of those bulldog mentalities. He likes the matchup with him against Arkansas tonight.
Fires a first pitch strike to Charles Davalon, who made that catch. Got tripped up at the warning track with his teammate Justin Thomas Jr. and he chops one into the shift to the right side. Inoue makes the play from deep in the hole, out number 1. A big part of what Pete Hughes wants to see cleaned up after the 1-4 start is the defense. 11 errors made in the first 5 games. He says that Inoue is one of the smartest players, best baseball IQ on the team. They have David Bishop, who's the captain of the defensive infield, despite being a first baseman, the TCU transfer. They love his leadership on that right side of the infield. As Vahiva Aloy digs in. takes a first pitch strike. Saw him with a couple plays out in the field in the first inning, a guy who a lot of scouts thought would have to move to second base to have a future as a pro, but Vahiva had other ideas. As he takes the curveball outside, entrenched as Arkansas's everyday starting shortstop. And for good reason, now viewed as a top 10 SEC prospect in next year's draft.
Yeah, definitely could be a day one draft, and he has just really improved his game defensively. And as you mentioned, Ben, looked at possibly at the next level as a second baseman, but his skills have really improved at shortstop. Had the strong arm already, but it's the glove, the smoothness, just the actions of his footwork really gotten better, and the hitting just continues to improve.
Down to the count 1-2 as we're just underway from Globe Life Field. Slider outside.
Yeah, Lloyd brings plenty of bat speed, plenty of strength, just continues to get stronger, but it's had some of the best exit velos on this lineup. Had a couple of shots back in the fall that were 112 to 115 off the bat.
Takes a healthy hack and swings right through the fastball. Good pitch from Jacob Frost, who did start 8 games a season ago, his first start in 2025.
Yeah, and Frost with just an overpowering fastball here, 94, just blows it right by Aloy. Hits the ball above the barrel of the bat. Aloy swinging through that and a little bit late.
Now gets Brent Iredale off to the fast start for Arkansas as he takes a fastball outside. How's 7 for 15 with 2 homers and 9 driven in sound to begin your Arkansas career?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad for an Australian native either.
Jam shot foul. His numbers made you think he was playing MLB Road to the Show on rookie mode the last 2 years. I mean, 441 at the JUCO level last year, 25 homers, 78 runs driven in.
Yeah, just some gaudy numbers from Iredale. And, the question obviously, does it translate to this level and above? And their scouts are saying there's no doubt. Maybe a little bit stiff in some of his motions. But that first swing sure looked loose.
As head coach Dave Van Horn calls him the silent assassin for his calm demeanor. Not often thought of from Australians. The stereotype doesn't usually go that way. The 2-1 punch to the right side. English can't get there as it 2 hops against the wall. Brent Iredale stay hot. A 2-out double for Arkansas.
Yeah, how about that elite back control as well? Gets a fastball outer part of the plate from David Frost and just stays with that pitch. And just drives into the gap. Elite back control as he punches that fastball off the hand of Jacob Frost.
Loving life as a Razorback. 8 of his first 16. That one 111 miles an hour off the bat. And now Kuhio Aloy reunited with his older brother. And in the cleanup spot for Arkansas. Healthy cut at a changeup, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, that's a great opening pitch for a sequence, especially against the power hitting Aloy. Just changes timing, and when you can throw a changeup over first pitch of the sequence, that's the pitch he's showing you he wants to get him out with.
Called strike 2, another changeup. What's made Aloy so good at the D1 level as a hitter is that he was recruited as a pitcher by BYU. Has such a good idea for what guys want to throw at him by being a pitcher, but he ended up hitting in the middle of the order for the Cougars as a freshman, now in the middle of the order for one of the best teams in the country. But is fooled here. Fastball freezes him right down the middle, and Jacob Frost works out the 2-out double to retire the side in the first inning with a couple punch outs.
Yeah, fastball just down the middle from Frost. It totally fooled Aloy. Set him up with those changeups. Nice job. Good start for Jacob Frost and the Wildcats.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
0-0 as we head to the second inning. Pleased to be joined now by head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, Dave Van Horn. Our in-game interviews brought to you by Amegy Bank. Coach, always a pleasure. We know whenever we see you guys, it's a packed house. a lot of juice here in the building. What are you seeing so far out of your youngster Gabe Gackel, who had a huge moment in this same sort of tournament last year, and now here we are back in 2025?
Yeah, he went from late inning guy to a Friday starter. He's just a great competitor, good athlete, and throws a lot of strikes.
Dave, Pat Combs here. You know, you guys don't have to ever rebuild anything. You just reload these arms. But what makes Arkansas, Matt Hobbs, such an attraction for young pitchers?
Well, obviously, he's really good at what he does, and that's develop pitchers. And, you know, what we've done over the last few years is we brought in some really good young freshmen, and they've gotten better and better. And most of them were kids that were, you know, highly sought after professionally, and they just felt like going to school might be the route for them. And in most cases, it's been good for them. It's been really good for us. And you know, Gackel's another one of those guys.
I mean, great start to the season for you. You see the pop out by Maximus Martin to start the inning. You told us this week you wanted to see a little more outfield communication. I mean, you've coached a cajillion games, but I mean, what goes through your head? You see your left fielder and center fielder barreling down on each other in the outfield.
Well, first off, I thought it was a really good play. They actually communicated really well together. I talked to him about it when they got in, and center fielder said he heard the left fielder calling it. He was there first, obviously, and so he slid. He slid on the track. He just got down, and that was one of those balls. That was a true tweener, big play in the game, and you know, left the bat. We didn't know if it was going out of the park, off the wall. It was a really nice play by Davalin.
Dave, you know, we talked before this week, and you know, you guys are off another great start to the season, but is there one particular area of the game that you'd like to see some improvement on?
Well, I mean, I think we need to improve, you know, in a lot of ways, but really we're just trying to figure out our team a little bit. We have a lot of new guys. It's just kind of Division I baseball. We talked about it the other day. At this level, you're going to lose kids in the draft, graduation, and then there's the portal where guys are going to move around a little bit. Oh, almost a good play. And, you know, so we're still learning ourselves. Even though you practice in the fall, it's not outside competition. There's, you know, it's just such a process. But, you know, I want to see us get a lot better defensively. And really, if you go off of last week, and I can't say a whole lot about the pitching because it was good. So,
no doubt.
We played solid defense, but you know, this time of year, usually the pitching's ahead of the hitting, and I feel like that our offense is going to kick it into gear here. If it's not this weekend, it's in the near future.
Certainly a long way to go. Coach, appreciate the time. We'll check in with you here next couple of days. Thanks as always for doing this.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. See you.
Yeah, great try by Vahiva Aloy on the dive up the middle, but Bear Madliak gets the base hit. Second straight inning, the Kansas State attempting to put some pressure on the starting pitcher, Gabe Gackel.
Yeah, quick timeout here for Ryder Helfrich, trying to get on the same page with Gackel. Maybe a little disagreement on pitch selection. Second hit given up. That was the first hit bunt by D. Kennedy. That was well played by Iredale, but just tough throw to first base.
Facing Shintaro Inoue from Western Nebraska JUCO, long way from home, Yamaguchi, Japan. The coaches love his game. As he watches a sinker down in the dirt. The fact that he's been so resilient going so far away from home, has a language barrier. The coaches actually have a translator box in the dugout when Coach Pete Hughes has specific plays he wants to call that Shintaro otherwise wouldn't be able to tell. But it has not ever gotten him frustrated. He has forged his path and off to a nice start. Takes a called strike on 2-0.
Yeah, think about that. I mean, you know, when I was on the USA teams back in '87, '88, we took a trip to Japan, and you know, it was really the kind of the start of seeing Japanese players become bona fide professionals that could come over to the U.S. and play.
Here he bangs one back up the box, but could be two, and it will. Bahiva Aloy steps on the bag and turns a double play. Good news is we've got a lot of time to talk about Shintaro Inoue the rest of the weekend. Tough luck double play there as Gackel gets out of the inning, and we stay without a score heading to the bottom of the second.
First, at Shriners Children's, the world's most advanced scoliosis procedures are born here. In fact, we deliver access to the world's best doctors for nearly every pediatric orthopedic condition. We're delivering care without compromise is our promise. And kids can just be kids. Because being first always starts with empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made, and champions are born.
Nothing game between Kansas State and Arkansas. Part of 3 weekends of college baseball here at Globe Life Field. All 3 of them benefit Shriners Children's with a portion of ticket sales going to a worthy cause that is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. To donate, you can scan that QR code right there on your screen or visit globelifefield.com/college baseball. We were in the $150,000 range last weekend, weekend number 3 of the Shriners Children's College Showdown, and we keep rolling, Pat. Been a great way to start the college baseball season, and here we go. It is sub-freezing outside right now. This game would not be played if it was an outdoor game at, say, the old Ranger ballpark, but that's the beauty of this place, and great fans on hand as well with a huge crowd.
Yeah, no doubt. What a great weekend. Indoors, perfect weather for baseball, right? We got some great teams this week. It's going to be a fun weekend.
Rocco Pepe wanted a drag bunt. Instead, he bunts it right back at Jacob Frost. A quick first out for Arkansas as Kendall Diggs come up, and an obvious show of respect that these Arkansas hitters realize Jacob Frost, when he's on, he's a really tough lefty to get a feel for.
Yeah, and just trying to get something going offensively was Rocco Pepe. Not a bad idea, just bad execution. Had the bat pointed straight to the pitcher when he bunted it. Got to get that bat angled down one of the lines, but great pick up and throw for the first out for Jacob Frost here in the second.
Kendall Diggs watches a fastball just high. It's hard to figure out Jacob Frost in a sense because he had a start last year where he went 7 hitless innings. Here's our pitch track.
Yeah, I had it as a strike, and it would caught the top of the zone, but John Brammer, the home plate umpire, said not so much. Pretty close pitch to the first one.
He does get back in there with a strike. So far, the high strike has not been there, at least in a very small sample size. And again, just high, this time a slider, as it's 2-1 to Diggs. When Jacob Frost has been on, he's had some of the best stuff in the country. He had a 7-inning no-hitter last year against Cincinnati, part of a combined no-hitter for his team. This pitch is in there for a called strike on the outside edge. With the shift on, Inoue way deep in the hole playing Diggs. Yet at the same time, he also gave up 22 extra base hits out of the 52 allowed. It's just so bizarre what to make out of a guy who at times has been brilliant and at other times has gotten hit really hard. Here, he's clearly on with a swing and a miss for another strikeout.
Well, I think what you're seeing here is obviously an overpowering fastball to start the game. You blow it by these Arkansas hitters, that's doing something. And then the times where he gets in trouble, it's sometimes he gets to throwing too many strikes. There's a lot of stuff down the middle of the plate here. And he trusts his stuff. You love that. But sometimes you get ahead of hitters, you want to start going towards those corners. And so we'll see if the attack mode continues. But right now, he's just blowing fastballs center cut right down the middle past these Arkansas hitters.
Ryder Helfrich ready for that fastball, but stings one right to Micah Dean. A lightning fast 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Frost. As we stay 0-0, headed to the third in our nightcap. Day 1 from Globe Life Field.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amegy business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing. With comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Arlington, the Renegades are going full throttle this spring when the UFL returns.
What a catch!
Get ready for more action-packed football and unforgettable experiences at Choctaw Stadium.
That is something special right there.
Renegades, mount up and get your tickets today.
Nothing to the third inning. Kansas State off of a Cinderella run. They had been bubble teams snubbed by the committee twice in the previous 3 seasons, but they finally made it. 35 wins. Did pick up a dub in the Big 12 tournament. And then the shocker, as the 3 seed, they made it out of the Fayetteville Regional. Took Virginia to Super Regionals while they lost both of those games. It was a huge step forward for a Kansas State program under Pete Hughes.
Yeah, it was historic for Kansas State. And look, this is a team that has not gotten the respect they deserve in college baseball. In fact, Pete Hughes will say the year before, in 23, he thought he had a better team then that got snubbed. And so this is a team that is always competitive. Pete Hughes has done an incredible job building a foundation, a winning foundation, and a great culture for K-State. You just look up and down this lineup now, there's no weaknesses. I mean, he has filled up some gaps in this lineup. Now, do they need to get things going? Absolutely. It was a big turnover from last year. His team lost a lot of stars, but there's no doubt this coaching staff has built this culture, and it's a winning culture now at K-State.
David Bishop watches a first pitch slider miss. There's Pete Hughes. The glasses down there on the left. In his 26th year overall as a D1 head coach. Swinging a miss there by Bishop, but it's never easy, no matter how many years you've been doing this, when you have to replace 7 of your 9 hitters in the lineup, and you have to replace a first rounder at shortstop. Kalen Culpepper taken 21st overall by Minnesota, and a top 4 round closer, as that swung out and missed.
Yeah, Culpepper, Tyson Neighbors, I mean, just great seasons last year for a number of these Wildcats, and they are definitely on the map in college baseball now. This is a team that, you know, maybe 10 years ago you didn't have to take as serious in baseball, but no longer with Pete Hughes at the helm. He and Austin Waits, Rudy Darrow, and Thomas Hughes, his son. It's a great staff, and they do a good job recruiting. They work hard. This is a team that is built upon that foundation. Hard work, grit, just get after it, tenacity. That's what they get from their head coach.
David Bishop works the count to 2-2 against Gabe Gackle starting the third. Swing and a miss. 95 just offside the edge, and Bishop can't keep up.
Yeah, Gackle just overpowers him with the fastball, and you know, it's one thing with Gackle, you know the fastball's coming. 97, 98. You've got to always look fastball with him. And then he sets him up with the slider, comes back and finishes him with the hard stuff.
It's not the pitcher you want to face when you're scuffling at the plate. Dante Lewis takes a fastball high. However, K-State, despite having to deal with all sorts of weather issues like many teams, their game was moved up a day at North Carolina Tuesday. They scored 9 runs off a legit top 10 team. There's a slider taken for a ball, 2-0. Played in the Coastal Carolina tournament last weekend, lost a couple games at Coastal, a really solid mid-major team. As the 2-0 is fouled straight back. So it's not like you look at the first 5 games and go, all right, write them off. I mean, it was really tough competition.
And they bloated it up this year, too. That's one thing that Pete Hughes said, you know, he learned a few seasons ago when they felt like they got snubbed the first time from the selection committee. He said, look, I get it. Our RPI was not as strong as it probably needed to be. So he's loaded up the schedule last couple of seasons. One is it's going to make his team better. They're playing better competition. But now even some of those losses on the road against top teams are not going to hurt you as much as some of maybe a lighter schedule that the way they used to play it.
How about that curveball really fooling Dante Lewis as the count goes 2-2. Belts this one, but right at Vahiva Aloy. He's been a busy shortstop already and makes the play. Well, you look at the non-conference schedule last year alone. True road games at Tennessee, Clemson, and Arizona State. That is tough scheduling. Yeah. And they've done it again this year. Yeah,
I mean, those are, you know, top 10, top 15 teams. And, you know, that's, you know, Pete Hughes is one of those guys, when you talk to him for a few minutes, you realize that that Brockton, Massachusetts attitude comes out, right? He doesn't take any gruff. He says, I'm a grumpy old guy now in my old age as a baseball coach. He goes, look, if we got to play the best in order to get to that tournament, then we're going to do it. He's not scared of the schedule.
Micah Dean takes a slider high. Bunts one, foul. Now we'll talk to that grumpy old guy from Brockton, Massachusetts in the bottom half of the inning.
And those were his words. We're just quoting his.
Right, exactly. That's what we do. We're not taking that out of context.
That's right.
And 5 Wildcats drafted last year, most since 2011. As the slider's in for a strike. Gabe Gackel struggled a little bit with command in the first inning, gave up base hits each of those frames, but has really looked to be settled in now with a 1-2 pitch coming to Micah Dean. He just laid off the high fastball.
Yeah, good hold by Dean. Boy, that was really close. That's some high cheese from Gackel, and yeah, good call. Chris Koski at first base.
Belts one, foul right on that slider.
I think Gackel just sped his bat up with that slider.
Micah Dean, not many opportunities in the early going this year, but they have the redshirt freshman hitting in the 2-hole. A way for Pete Hughes to generate a spark, mix things up a little bit. He works the count full. Been a good AB for Micah Dean as he watches that slider miss. More than anything, K-State just hoping to make Gabe Gackel work. This is his 45th pitch already. And he missed it. Big cheer from the K-State dugout as that one missed low and outside. And for the 3rd straight inning, Kansas State does have a base runner.
Yeah, that was just a great at bat by Micah Dean. Fought off a couple of pitches, held on that 2-strike fastball, and then forces the hand of Gackel. Four-seam fastball off the plate. He earned that walk.
Gives D. Kennedy a crack at it with 2 outs. Takes a first pitch strike. This has to be fun for D. Kennedy, back near his hometown. Grew up in Fort Worth and started his career at Texas. Hit just .209 last year as a freshman, but had some big games against Kansas State. 6 for 13, 5 driven in, and 5 runs. And Pete Hughes, the K-State head coach, said, I don't care about the .209 average. I watched what I watched right in front of me.
No doubt. That'll get your attention when an opponent does that to you. But
Runner goes, pitch low, throw is not in time. And the hand just stayed on the bag for Mike and Dean. Nice jump as Dean has his first stolen base of his career.
Yeah, that was a big jump, and that was really off the pitcher, Gabe Gackel. Yeah, big leg kick, and that forces his catcher, Ryder Helfrich, to be about, 2 seconds on the release. Got to make a perfect throw when your pitcher is about 1.6, 1.7 at the plate.
Curveball down and away, 2-1.
Yeah, D. Kennedy, one of those guys that, he's way better than the 209 average from last season. Just need to get himself in a position where he can get comfortable and get a coaching staff that really believes in him.
Out in front. On a dead red, and instead a pull of the string by Gabe Gackel.
Yeah, just the confidence in Gackel to be able to throw that big breaker behind in the count. That'll fool a lot of hitters.
Didn't quite catch that curveball as it misses high. This is what Kansas State wanted to do. Work deep counts, see all the stuff from Gabe Gackel, and get their guys with experience in big moments like D. Kennedy the opportunity with a runner in scoring position. Had a walk-off last year and a 9th inning homer as well. Here he belts one under the glove of Iredale at third, and Kansas State strikes first with a 2-out rally.
Just a great swing by D. Kennedy, and saw 3 different pitches in that sequence from Gackel. That time gets a pitch that's just kind of hanging up middle inside part of the plate, and he belts it to left field, gets it by the third baseman Iredale, and he'll get credited with the first RBI of the game as Micah Dean comes across, put himself in scoring position with that stolen base, and good things happen. Well, first visit of the day for the Razorbacks. Have Hobbs out to have a chat with his starting pitcher. And you get a sense, Ben, he's not locked in. We've seen Gackel throw where he's just mowing down the lineup. Kansas State's had runners in each inning. This time, of course, score the run on that 2-out RBI, but yeah, he's not locked in yet.
When you have a fastball as electric as Gabe Gackel does, that sets everything else up, but he hasn't been able to locate.
That's it. Yeah, the command's not there yet.
Seth Dardar walked in the first inning against Gackel. You wonder how aggressive D. Kennedy will be over there at first. Has stolen a base already this season. A guy with great athleticism, good speed on the base pass.
Yeah, it's not if.
Off,
yeah, not if, but when Kennedy takes off. It's one part of the game with Gackel. He doesn't do as good a job holding base runners. That's an area that he needs to improve on before he gets to the next level. Puts a lot of pressure on Helfrich to get rid of the ball if Kennedy should steal.
Again, going slightly off speed. That one, the cut fastball, and it's 2-0. Gackel is not draft eligible this year. He's viewed as a bona fide top 5 SEC draft prospect in 2026, but they will have him another year after this one. And the 2-0 misses. Only gave up 1 hit across 5 innings opening day against Wazoo, but it clearly has not been the same level of sharpness today, as you pointed out. Taking all the way, that finds the zone.
Well, it's a 3-1 pitch. Dardar going to be swinging out of his shoes if it's anywhere close.
Seeing the ball so well to start the year. 9 for his first 20. But that one not close. With 2 outs, walk, stolen base, RBI single, and another walk brings Nick English to the plate.
Well, when you're struggling with your fastball command, you got to have that next go-to pitch. And the slider has worked. He's worked it to get ahead of the count, and it set up his fastball in certain counts. But yeah, he hasn't gone back to that sequence yet. See if he does it here.
Catches the inside corner to Nick English. I wouldn't describe that bullpen activity as guys actively getting loose. Getting loose in another way.
Yeah, there's still probably another 35 to 40 pitches with Gackle. He's at 57 at the moment.
He went 78 pitches on opening day, did Gackle. And Joss misses with the curveball. His partisan Arkansas crowd, solid 95% of the fans at Globe Life getting a little antsy with those close pitches not going their way. And again, just misses with the curve.
Yeah, same location. Just doesn't have the feel for that pitch. Slider's been his most effective pitch so far. That's the curveball coming in about mid-70s.
Three and one. Just not there with the location. He's now over 60 pitches. And a big opportunity for Nick English, the Olathe, Kansas native. The team leading 17 doubles a season ago. High fly ball, an aggressive swing on 3-1, but gets under it. Davalon camps under it and makes the catch. The big underdog Kansas State Wildcats strike first with a little 2-out rally.
Yeah, how about the swing from Dean Kennedy? Drives in Micah Dean. Wildcats get on the board first. Arkansas coming up to hit.
Resilience. At Shriners Children's, we're leaders in pediatric sports medicine. With expertise in sprains, tears, fractures, and other sports-related injuries. We're here to deliver the best care in the business and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. Because every great comeback starts with a game plan for empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Back at Globe Life Field, where Kansas State has the early 1-0 lead. Time for our in-game interviews brought to you by Amegy Bank and head coach of the Wildcats, Pete Hughes, kind enough to join us right now. Coach, how about the approach of your guys at the plate here? Really nice start for your team.
Yeah, that's good. There's two things going on that really haven't been consistently that way. You know, Gackle really doesn't get into counts that deep. He's a great strike thrower. I mean, his misses have not been bad, and we haven't been the most disciplined team with our plate appearances up until today. So it's good. That was the game plan. You know, make a really good pitcher, throw some pitches, and that's what we've done.
Hey, Pete, Pat Combs, great to see you here in Arlington. How about the start for Jacob Frost? He looks outstanding.
Jacob's really talented. You know, he's a workhorse, and with him, Pat, it's the fastball that has to play. It's got to be in the zone for everything else to happen, and it looks like he has pretty good command with it tonight.
Yeah, he's attacking with it well and getting ahead of these Arkansas hitters, making it difficult. You know, Pete, we talked earlier about, you know, how important culture is to you. How would you define the culture at K-State?
Well, it's a winning one. You know, our guys don't go running to the portal, and that's the only way. That's the only way I can describe it to you, Pat. And these days, and the way the landscape is with the portal and kids leaving, your culture has to be your foundation, and that's where you got to spend most of your time developing. And I think we do a great job. It's not just me; it's our assistant coaches and it's our returning players that set the tone for that every year.
100%, Coach. We appreciate you taking a couple minutes. We'll check in with you throughout the weekend. Thanks as always for the time.
Yep, thank you guys.
Good start for his Wildcats. Needed a spark after the 1-4 beginning in their first 5 games. And Jacob Frost has had the last 2 leadoff hitters try to drag bunt against him, and it has not worked. Nolan Souza right back to the mound, and now he's ahead of Justin Thomas Jr., the 9-hitter for Arkansas, 1-2.
Now, you know, Ben, when you see the bunts, you know, start innings, it's a sign, right? It tells you something about your starting pitcher. It tells you that your pitcher's really on today, and the offense for Arkansas is trying to do something to create base runners, and they haven't been able to figure it out quite yet.
He locks up Justin Thomas. Nice pitch on the inner corner. 4 strikeouts and 2 2/3 for Jacob Frost.
Yeah. Thought that might have been a little generous on the inside. He got the call there. Yeah, Justin Thomas thought it was in as well, but when you're locked in the way Jacob Frost is, you get those pitches.
Charles Davallon showing a bunt before pulling it back. 1-0 to the leadoff hitter. Made that nice catch out in left center. Narrowly avoided a collision with Thomas, who we just saw bat. Near the count is 1-1. I regret that I didn't ask Coach Van Horn if they were watching the USA-Canada hockey last night, because that guy they called Chuck from Montreal, I mean, that was so intense. I wonder if that was causing, you know, they were getting a little razzing going in on the Arizona or the Arkansas bus ride or something like that. 2-1 the count here.
Well, you can hear the Arkansas fans giving it to home plate umpire John Brammer. They are letting him know that's what you get. This is a great crowd, and you know, as we were talking to Coach Van Horn, he said, you know, we know our fans travel well, but when you come to Arlington, it's not that far a trip, and we're going to have probably 17,000 to 20,000 people for all 3 games this weekend, and it certainly looks to be about right.
Lower bowl pretty much entirely filled as Davallon works the count. 3-1. Called strike. 3-2. There's a good look at it. No hog calls yet. Yet being
right.
The operative word.
Yeah, it's starting to build up. I think you're starting to hear a little frustration too, because they want to get those pig sueys out, and they have not been able to do that yet.
Davallon works a 2-out walk. Just the second base runner of the game, bringing up Vahiva Aloy.
Well, so far Frost has done a good job of limiting those free passes. First one tonight given up. His command has stayed pretty sharp.
Kansas State just used a 2-out rally of its own where nothing much was doing to scratch across the first run. With Arkansas, they're always a threat as soon as anybody's on. And Vahiva Aloy, while he struck out in his first debut, really plays with a fire inside of him. That's what Coach Dave Van Horn says. Apparently, when the scouts have come to Fayetteville, they can't figure out Vahiva because he doesn't talk a whole lot. He just lets his game do the talking. And he shoots one to the right side, hanging up for English, who makes the catch. Hard contact, but Frost works around the 2-out walk. Arkansas held at bay through the first 3 innings. It's K-State with a 1-run lead.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new. We on the new wave. See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12, now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know, we are.
This is a familiar setting for Arkansas and its traveling fans from Fayetteville. The 5th-ranked Razorbacks trail this one 1-0 to K-State going into the 4th inning, but it's the 4th time they played in this event. 7-2 all-time at Globe Life Field. It's not just the lower bowl; they've got suites, they've got it all set up, and even people from the area, which Coach Van Horn said, they've got a ton of alums and fan base in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. You see that fan with the TCU hat and the Arkansas sweatshirt. It's not all that uncommon to see that sort of thing.
It is not. Yeah, there's a lot of Dallas students that go to Arkansas for school, so yeah, quite a few alums in this area, but they do travel well.
Maximus Martin rips it down the line. That catches chalk. And the former Georgia State product, who Arkansas wanted badly in the transfer portal, he went to K-State, and he starts the 4th with a ringing double.
Yeah, he turned that fastball delivery around really quickly on Gackel, and pitch that stays up and inside, tailing in on his hands. He just gets the barrel to it. Nice job of making sure that barrel gets around and into the middle of the strike zone, and you can see that pitch was tailing in. And nice reaction here from Maximus Martin. Leadoff double to start the 4th.
Bunt down. It's a sharp one, and it just goes foul for Bear Madliak, the catcher.
Yeah, definitely right direction for Madliak. You want to try to make that third baseman field it.
Even though Gabe Gackel doesn't have his premier stuff tonight, you still think runs will be at a premium. Kansas State clearly feels that way as they look for small ball with the bottom of the order coming up now.
Yeah, set play by the Arkansas defense. Trying to catch Martin shading away from second base.
Coach Pete Hughes told us last half inning he doesn't lose guys to the transfer portal, but he can bring them in. This curveball just misses outside. We just watched Martin, the former Georgia State product, reach with a double. Madliak had 2 really nice seasons at Jacksonville State, was a freshman All-American on the A-Sun Conference All-Freshman team. Hit .333 over the last 2 seasons for their head coach Steve Beazer. And does his job. A good bunt. Gackel makes a strong throw, and K-State moves the runner 90 feet.
Yeah, well done by Madliak. It was perfectly placed. Forces Gackel to just go straight to first base with it. Now a small ball from Kansas State. Pete Hughes thinking this is going to be a low-scoring game, especially the way his starting pitcher's gotten off to a great start. So K-State will be content with playing for 1 run at a time.
Infield pulled in. Inoue into right field. The first-year Wildcat comes up big as K-State adds another run. It's 2-0.
Yeah, just great fundamental baseball. You get Maximus on with the double, you move over on the bunt, and Inoue just does what he does. It's a breaking ball that kind of hanging over the middle of the plate. Just turns on it. Second hitter in a row for Kansas, or second hitter this inning for Kansas State that has turned on a delivery from Gackel. This time good for an RBI.
First pitch popped into shallow right center off the bat of David Bishop. Thomas with the catch. That has gotten some activity up though in the Arkansas bullpen. With Gackel. His next pitch, his 70th. There's a good look at Justin Thomas. How good must this feel though for Inoue?
You don't have to talk perfect English to celebrate,
No
right?
translator box necessary.
No translator needed. Well, the measure of a pitcher at this level is not how well you can pitch with your good stuff. Anybody at this level that has good stuff can pitch. It's how do you react, how do you respond when you don't have your good stuff? And that's what we're seeing with Gackel tonight. He's doing a good job of keeping his team in the game, but he's going to try to keep this lead where it is until the Arkansas offense can find their bats.
Using a lot more off speed this inning with the fastball command subpar. He gets ahead with a slider. Goes back to it and just misses low. There's a good look at Gabe Gackel, the Aptos, California native. This is the venue where it all changed for Gabe Gackel last year. He struggled early as a freshman, a relief option for Dave Van Horn last year. It's a swing and a miss with a fastball. In this exact event, he came in against Oklahoma State. The score was tied, 1 out, bottom of the 9th, bases loaded. Gackel actually fell behind 3-1 to Charlie Carter. You're 1 pitch away from a walk-off walk, but he got out of it. Then ended up going 2 2/3 in relief. As the 1-2 is outside, throw gets into center field as Inoue gets the stolen base. More active base running for K-State, their 2nd stolen base already, and Inoue is in scoring position.
Yeah, another great jump off of Gackel, and it just really forces your catcher to have to get rid of it quickly, and that time the throw off the mark. Yeah, Souza cannot come up with it, but Inoue cannot advance. But yet another runner in scoring position.
2-2 to Dante Lewis. Reared back for a little something extra. 3-2. That appearance last year here at Globe Life for Gabe Gackel, struck out 6, did not allow a hit in 2 2/3 innings, and that was the moment he needed that boost to self-belief, and then everything clicked after. High pop-up off the bat of Lewis. Maybe not the best stuff tonight for Gabe Gackel, but he gets out of the 4th inning, allowing no further damage as it's popped out to Souza at 2nd. Shintaro Inoue, an RBI single. K-State looking to pull off a big upset, has an early 2-0 lead.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions, home to possibility, and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Record-breaking global superstar, Shakira. Live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour. Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Yeah, winning a policy. Thank God for it all, it's a prophecy. Lot of pressure, I am a prodigy. Everybody inside of the stadium tell me they proud of me. Shot in public, training privately. Homer, straight to the balcony. Building muscle, I never can bother me. Texas Rangers together, we by the team. Go man, this is the dog in me. Still a game on the road, it's a robbery. Stand on base, going strong, no apology. Corey Seager might give it to Rock. Like I see it, descending my arm.
We're back in the Lone Star State with the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. Bringing the heat right back here to Globe Life Field next weekend, February 28th through March 2nd. 4 elite programs, Oregon State, Auburn, Baylor, and Ohio State are set to battle it out in an epic early season clash. Can't make it to the ballpark? Catch every pitch, every play, and every clutch moment live on Flo College. Our friends Brent Freeman, Ty Harrington will be on the call next weekend. You'll be locked in every Baylor pitch, Pat, start to finish.
I will. I mean, your team's 4-0. You got to follow those guys.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll be down in Houston calling in the tournament, the Astros Foundation Classic next weekend, but I will be tuned in.
The consummate multitasker, Pat Combs. That's what you do. Brent Iredale leads off this bottom of the 4th. 2-0 lead for Kansas State. Jam shot foul, 0-2. Jacob Frost, just 33 pitches in his first 3 innings. He has kept that large swath of red very quiet all night long.
Well, the old saying, I mean, everything starts and finishes on the mound when it comes to baseball, you know, so if you get that good start, you know, it keeps your team in the game, obviously can win you games. It's also the closing part of the game.
1-2 to Iredale. Second time through the order for Frost. Iredale was the only guy who got a hit off him. A double back in the first. Stays alive, fighting off the sinker.
And you can see Iredale's approach. He's trying to go right center. That looks to be his approach, so anything hard in can be a bit of a challenge for him, just fighting that fastball off. First at bat, usually hitters will show you how to get them out. Then you just have to execute pitches.
Running inside on the fastball.
And the great hitters make adjustments. Then you have to adjust with them.
Isn't it funny how hitters say the exact opposite?
That's right.
Pitchers just show you what they've got first time up, and then you can hit them.
Well, there's a lot of truth to that. Yeah, usually an 0-0 count, pitcher's going to throw, you know, the pitch he's trying to get you out with. He gets to a 3-ball count, the percentages show that that's usually the pitch they go back to. So yeah, the kind of the art and science of baseball, just learning sequences, learning what to expect, you know, being ready for anything, obviously. But yeah, there's a lot to the strategic part of the game when you study, you know, how pitchers approach hitters, how hitters, you know, use their approach.
Iredale's worked it back from 0-2 to 3-2, and he lays off. Frost reached back for a little extra 92 on that 3-2 fastball, and once again Brent Iredale gets on base for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, great at bat for Iredale, and you know, Arkansas showed you early on. I mean, they're just trying to find base runners, and they'll take it any way they can get it right now. Free pass, they'll take it.
First time Arkansas has had a runner aboard before 2 outs, and it's Kuhio Aloy, first-year Razorback. Lays off a fastball high. The book on Kuhio is that he's a little more physical, stronger presence in the box than his older brother Vahiva, who's the starting shortstop. He proved he had prodigious power right away. His first 2 collegiate games against USC and Ohio State last year, Kuhio went yarded. And he watches a changeup miss, 2-0.
Yeah, that's the problem with this Arkansas lineup when you pitch against them, is that, you know, they got power up and down the order. So you get in trouble, then you start forcing pitches across the middle, and that's when you're going to get hurt. First visit today out of the K-State dugout. Rudy Darlow, the pitching coach for the Cats. There's that pig seal. We've been waiting for it.
First time the Arkansas offense has had much to do that about. And Aloy understands he's in a great position. He's from Hawaii. He and Vahiva both from Wailuku. When Kuhio announced he was transferring, he said it was a low hog Friday. That's good. Chopper to the left side. Played by Kennedy, goes the short way for one. Can't turn the relay in time. Good pitch, though, running inside by Frost on 2-0.
Yeah, good recovery from Frost. And tied up Kahil Aloy with that fastball, and chance to turn too. Not hit quite hard enough to do that, but good turn from D. Kennedy over to his second baseman, Shintaro Inoue.
Brings up Rocco Pepe, the Fresno State transfer. He watches a first pitch curveball in for a strike. If there was a knock on Arkansas a season ago, it's that after the first few batters in the order, they weren't super dangerous in the bottom half. But Dave Van Horn went out, brought in some big time transfers, ranked as the second best transfer class in the country, has 10 of them. He really feels like gives this lineup some much needed depth that can get him over the hump. Arkansas has had 2 shockingly early exits in regionals each of the last 2 years. And Pepe is viewed as a big piece of that puzzle. Here he hits a high pop up that stays on the infield. Inoue makes the call and is able to stay with it. Not the easiest thing to do in the cavernous rods and bars going across the roof here at Globe Life Field.
That's right. Yeah, I bet you have that conversation with Shintaro Inoue, and you say, hey, how many dome stadiums have you played in? Coming from Japan, and I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be none. Yeah, first time for a lot of these players to play in a stadium like this. It's a major league ballpark, but a lot of different dimensions to this. You think about the sight lines that you're having to pick up balls coming off that 3rd and 4th deck, looking up into the rafters of a ceiling. It's a different play.
Kendall Diggs takes a called strike. With Diggs, they bring Inoue way deep in the hole, and Maximus Martin shaded on the right side of second base. This is fun for us because we still get the shift.
Yeah, we do. In college baseball, you can still use it. Can we at least give...
This one's punched to left. Lewis backtracks, runs it down. Great 4 innings of work for Jacob Frost as he gets the fly up from Kendall Diggs. Kansas State keeping the Arkansas bats at bay. They lead it by 2.
I don't feel right unless the odds against me. Back against the wall with my strength. Yeah, yeah. I can't let it break. Everything I've been through, it made better. Another hate, it just made me better. Been through everything, it just made me better. I can't waste the pain, it just made me better. What's the next stage, it just made me better.
To left field. Goodbye, home run.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made, and champions are born.
Back inside Globe Life Field in Arlington, we go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Kansas State. Look who just joined us. I thought, Sean Decker. I don't know where he's been. He's only everywhere. From Rev Entertainment, he made it through weekend 1, and now here we go. We roll right along in this Kubota series. Great to see you back, man. It's always a pleasure catching up.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for having us. It was actually a disappointment. We had to cancel the game on Wednesday due to weather, so we're only going to play 24 games in 24 days.
Only.
So,
yeah,
we're really slouching.
Seriously. Well, at least there was some, it all worked as far as the number of games matching the number of days. Here's a shot off the leg here of Micah Dean to start the inning. That's a tough way to record your first out. Bang it right off your leg to the third baseman. Well, tell us about how the first weekend wrapped up. I mean, we were there, awesome crowds, great games, unbelievable drama. How did it all go on your guys' end?
Yeah, it was great. What an awesome weekend. Honestly, with the way the weather was around the country too, grateful for the roof and to have be 72 degrees every day. Awesome start to the season for us, and then we rolled right back in. We played games Monday and Tuesday, and 2 games on Tuesday, and then, like I said, took Wednesday off and started the workout day yesterday again to start the next weekend. Yeah,
it just keeps rolling, right, Sean? But you know, you come indoors to play because you're trying to defeat the elements, but the elements got you on Wednesday. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I think OU was a little concerned about the drive down from the north. And I was talking to our friends at Arkansas today. I guess they got 9 inches of snow on Tuesday,
Crazy.
So it seemed like it was everywhere.
Pete Hughes having a conversation with our home plate umpire, John Bramer.
Yeah, he felt like the ball came off of Dean's foot, and he wanted to have the check. It looks like it certainly maybe glanced the foot.
And the way he reacted, it seemed that way, but it ends up being out number 1 as D. Kennedy stands in. Well, at the same time, I mean, we get up today, come over to the park, it's 37 degrees out, so yeah. I mean, it all worked out, at least for today. You know, you look at the college baseball schedule and you're just watching all the games and you just see the CCLD, I mean, just everywhere. So not that you guys created this event thinking, yeah, we're going to need to deal with potential icy and snowy conditions this time of year. However, it's a nice insurance policy to have in place.
It's great. I mean, going back to our first year in the building doing this in 21, I don't know if you guys remember, but we had a massive ice storm coming.
That's right.
in. We had 6 teams coming, and everything was ready to go in here for baseball, but we had like hotels without running water, and we didn't really get all the other elements. We were delivering palleted waters, and we had teams sharing charter flights to get here just to make it. So we learned pretty quickly we got to be prepared for everything, not just what's happening in the building here.
Now, Sean, you talk about getting these teams here and what an incredible job you guys do. Every coach has said, wow, what a great job Rev has done. You know, we're so thankful that be able to come to a major league ballpark, play in this building, this facility. I would imagine you've got coaches calling you now to try to get into these games, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you, speaking of the weather, anytime we get cold weather, you don't want to be on one of our cell phones, because I feel like every coach within 1,000 miles is like, hey, any chance I had a coach call me on Tuesday, and I said, man, I just can't play. We've got so many other games going on. He's like, I'll play at 4 a.m. And I was, wow. So, yeah, we're really fortunate to get, and frankly, that's exactly what we wanted.
Little nubber off the bat of D. Kennedy, fielded by Gabe Gackle. You guys, it could be like a hockey rink sort of, you know, people buying for ice time. I mean, at that rate, but it does show clearly the impact that this event has had, and how many years are you guys actually booked out for? Like, I'm scared to even ask that because it's going to make us feel really old. But
yeah, no doubt.
I wonder.
I know. I think my kids will be graduated from high school, and they're just in elementary school when the game's booked. But you know, Jared, I know that we've got some schools committed all the way as far as 2032, wow. And what it looks like. And you know, our team's been considering, are there other venues that we can play in? Can we continue to expand this? We're all in on college baseball and the experience, and our goal is to figure out more ways to get it to more people and create a really cool experience for the student athletes and the teams and everything that goes with it.
That's outstanding. Well, what a job. I mean, look at the crowd tonight, right? These Arkansas fans travel so well, but we've seen it with other fan bases, right? I mean, Texas, LSU, there's a lot of great fan bases that travel. What a great facility, though, Sean. And you guys have done an incredible job putting this together. So any obviously future plans to try to expand this, but do you have any announcements in terms of teams coming in the next couple of years?
No, you know what? You mentioned LSU. We're really excited to have them here this coming Wednesday. We've been trying hard to get that program here, and I think, frankly, if you're in one of the top 50 schools, we want you.
No doubt. Well, it's a guarantee whenever you join us. We're going to have the fastest 1-2-3 inning you ever seen. But always a pleasure, man. Sean Decker from Rev Entertainment joining us. Thanks so much as always. Enjoy the rest of the event.
Thanks, guys.
We'll step aside, come back, going to the bottom of the 5th right after this.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour, Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Now I'm in the back of the church, begging God just to stop the
Excuse me, you look like you love me.
Two 2-0 K-State to the bottom of the fifth. A reminder that your college sports have a home on Flo College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences. Only on Flo College. Head to FloCollege.com today to see everything now. Well, a well-pitched game going to the bottom of the fifth. While we had Sean Decker with us, that was kind of a weird play, Pat, leading off the fifth where Mike and Dean, I just kind of assumed it seemed like by his reaction to hit off his foot, but apparently since if that happens, that's a dead ball going into the field of play. Umpires felt like no, and I was impressed that Pete Hughes was so calm about that. He seemed relaxed on it. Maybe I just didn't see that totally right, but alas, it was really the first quick inning we've seen out of Gabe Gackle, and now it's back to the mound for Jacob Frost.
Yeah, it was a good inning for Gackle. He needed it. He's at 86 pitches now, but yeah, much better for him if he's going to extend this game.
But Ryder Helfrich beats the shift, had 3 on the left side of the infield. And the sophomore catcher with the first leadoff single of the game for Arkansas.
Yeah, Helfrich just fights off this fastball delivery. Coming inside, he defeats the shift. David Bishop, the only one that had a shot at that. Would have been a great play by the Cat first baseman, but the ball eats up Helfrich, but able to punch it through for a single.
Second straight inning, Arkansas has gotten the lead runner aboard. Just the second hit against Jacob Frost. And a lefty-lefty matchup with Nolan Souza hitting 8th. Slider down in the dirt.
Yeah, great job by Madliak to get over. That ball was well into the right-handed batter's box. Fielded it cleanly. That was big. Kept Helfrich at first base.
The 1-0. Wave and a miss. Frost still cranking 91. You say, okay, he's in the 5th inning, still impressive. He's only at 50 pitches, though. It's been unbelievably efficient.
Yeah, the gun, it says 91, 93 on his fastball, but it plays harder than that. And you just can see the swings. Arkansas has swung under a number of those fastballs up in the zone. That tells you that high spin rate fastball is really playing itself well.
Another fastball freezes Souza. Count 1-2.
Souza, a plus runner, really an athletic player, especially in this spot. I think he just puts the ball in play. It's going to put a lot of pressure on that Wildcat defense.
So much is made at Arkansas about the Aloy brothers, both from Hawaii, but Nolan Souza also from Hawaii.
Wildcat defense shifted around for Souza as well.
The 1-2 shot foul. That left side is totally wide open. Souza just couldn't get it down. You see how far D. Kennedy, the third baseman, is off the bag, basically playing short.
Yeah, some teams will choose to keep the shortstop there, move the third baseman over where Maximus Martin is behind second base, but Wildcats shifted a little bit differently.
Swing and a miss. 93 from Jacob Frost, his 5th punch out.
Yeah, it's just a lot of life on that fastball. We've seen numerous strikeouts now of Arkansas hitters. That elevated fastball gets just underneath their hands. This time Souza not able to catch up. This is just a big lefty, Jacob Frost, saying, here it comes, boys, see if you can hit it.
Brings up Justin Thomas Jr. Struck out looking, was frozen with the fastball back in the third. And takes a curveball just out of the zone. A guy Dave Van Horn, his head coach, feels like could very easily be another leadoff hitter, but such a high emphasis has been placed on bottom of the order production for an Arkansas team that was a little too top heavy last year, and Thomas is a perfect elixir to that problem. Waves and misses at the fastball, 1-1.
Yeah, just too long of a swing with that particular fastball. Arkansas is going to really have to cut the swings down and just look to try to put the ball in play. But step one is stay off the high fastball.
Jacob Frost's ability to get so many swings and misses, it's eliminated the chance for a lot of mistakes behind him. K-State struggling so mightily early with 11 errors in 5 games, but it's been a lot of routine plays out there. All right, on cue, another swing and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, another center cut fastball, and you just kind of start to wonder how in the world does a talented Arkansas lineup keep swinging through these fastballs?
Five Ks already. Ready for the 1-2. Jam shot foul.
Yeah, good job by Thomas just to get his hands to that pitch. It was a fastball coming towards the inside part of the plate. Did a good job of pulling those hands in and just getting a piece of it.
Swing and a miss. Too good with that fastball. A 6th strikeout tonight, and he has Thomas for the 2nd time.
Yeah, just a dominant performance by Jacob Frost. And again, nothing special. He started him off with a breaking ball, but then it was 4 straight fastballs. Just late.
As good as we've seen that fastball, Jacob Frost normally is someone, even at his best, pitches to contact, just gets weak contact. Had never struck out more than 5 in a game as he misses outside of the fastball until tonight. And go figure, career high in strikeouts against one of the most dangerous offenses who generally puts the ball in play really well in Arkansas.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen Frost pitch until tonight. I don't know what he was like before tonight, but yeah, that fastball can play, man. That's this team is this Arkansas team has really had difficulty with that pitch.
Charles Davalon did walk his last time up, flipping the order back to the top, and he has a 2-0 count. Big rip. Helmet almost flies off.
Yeah, I caught home plate umpire John Brammer right in the mask. Now, 62nd pitch upcoming. Frost has also been efficient.
Recollects himself after the foul ball. Curve just misses. Kansas State, not only did they lose 7 of their 9 starters on offense, but lost all 3 of their top starters and their closer Tyson Neighbors. Looking for answers in any way. Jacob Frost gets a chopper to the right side in an awkward position. That's Martin ranging to his left and makes the play. It's been a struggle for K-State in the field this year, but Maximus Martin flashing the leather, and it remains 2-0 Wildcats.
Golden Chick's new Golden Bowl is so big, it's a whole lot of yes and a whole lot of yum. So if you like big bowls, and we cannot lie, the new loaded mashed potato bowl is a whole lot of Golden Chick, a big bowl you can't deny.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
It's 2-0 Kansas State going to the 6th inning. And those fans are ready to explode. You got a full beer. I mean, it's still early, but Pat, it's starting to get late pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, here we are in the what are we, the 5th inning already? Golly.
6th
inning.
Losing track.
Yeah, we are. Good day of baseball, but yeah, these Arkansas fans, there's a little bit of pent-up frustration. They've only been able to, do the team cheer, the Pig Suey, one time tonight. That was on a mound visit. They have had no runs on the board yet.
There was a reach, even then.
That's right.
they were trying to find anything.
Oh,
with Nick English up to start this top of the 6th. Gabe Gackel still out there, 86 pitches to start the inning. Chopper down the left field line, fair ball, past the dive of Brent Iredale, hits the sidewall down there, and it allows English to trot into second with a leadoff double for K-State.
Yeah, second leadoff double of the game. Maximus Martin had one back in the 4th, and Nick English equals that feat. Kansas State continuing to play, add on to this lead and trying to add another one. With the way that Frost is pitching, every run here feels like maybe 2 or 3.
They will appeal the throw to first, and apparently Nick English missed the bag. The entire Arkansas dugout got in the ear of Gabe Gackel and said, hey, step on the rubber, step off, appeal it, and apparently Nick English just made a huge blunder.
Yeah, what a call by the Arkansas dugout. Talk about keeping your heads in the game. And yeah, you heard the roar from the dugout. Wasn't exactly sure what that was about, but now we know it was the appeal. Here's English stepping around the bag. Totally missed it.
Fouled off by Martin. Wow.
Now Chris Koski, the first base umpire on the call, he saw it, and English gets rung up.
Called strike to Martin. You felt like if the inning started with a double, Gackel might be a batter away from being pulled since he's nearing 90 pitches. Slider outside. Now he has a chance to get through a clean inning, get through six.
That's huge, yeah. Well, think about how that could come back, with Arkansas lineup yet to really get going. But, something's going to happen before this end of this game, and that could be huge.
Swing and a miss. Martin out in front. Just the second strikeout tonight for Gabe Gackel, who has stuff as nasty as anybody in the country. So that will go in the book as well, Pat. That first AB is just a ground out to the pitcher.
Yeah, 1-3, right, on the put out.
Now Bear Madliak digs in for K-State. First pitch ball. High pop foul. Now there's a new rule on that first base bag. They've added the second bag, Pat, and we bring that up because.
Yeah, that's the runner's bag. But this the white bag is the one you have to touch when you're rounding the bases. So The green one only comes into play when there's a play at first base.
So clearly, as this is a called strike, Nick English thought he touched the base. It just is the base that doesn't count unless you're running straight through it. And that explains why he didn't even try to go back. Normally, if you're the runner, you know if you missed the base.
Yeah, you saw him try to drag that back foot across the top of the bag. And I think that's what he felt like he maybe dragged it across, but according to Chris Koski, the first base umpire, he did not make contact.
That's a great pickup by you. Good distinction, too, with the new rule. The 2-2 is chop foul.
Keep going, 3.
Yeah, you can imagine it can get quite confusing, especially the runners like saying, hey, I touched one of the 2 bags, but didn't touch the one that counted. And of course, that green bag added this year in college baseball in an effort to provide more safety for those collisions at first base, which we would typically see 2 or 3 of those a season. In fact, we saw 2 players go down that lost their season last year because of a collision at first base. And so that was a really something added for the safety of the players.
3-2 just missed outside on the 98th pitch of the night from Gabe Gackel, already well into his career high. And with Dave Van Horn on the top step, that might be it, and it will be.
Yeah, Gackel still looks like he has some juice in the tank, but it's still so early in the season. You want to protect those arms, and he's now approaching 100 pitches. Dave Van Horn says that's enough. We will continue to stretch you out, but you gave us all you needed to give us tonight. Yeah, solid outing.
Yeah, pitched hard, gets a nice hand from the Arkansas fans. Didn't get any run support as he exits the game trailing 2-0, 5 2/3. Didn't have his command, 5 hits, 4 walks, but the 2 earned runs as he exits the game, and Arkansas brings in a new pitcher. And a 2-0 game, top of the 6th, and a runner on first. It's Tate McGuire, the sophomore from Liberty, Missouri. We'll tell you more about Tate and get you set up for the top of the 6th with 2 outs when we return from Globe Life Field. Back at Globe Life Field in Arlington, a first pitch strike to Shintaro Inoue. From the new pitcher, Tate McGuire, who only made 2 appearances last season as a freshman, but has shown big improvements for Dave Van Horn. Works ahead, 0-2. Pitched a clean inning in his only appearance over the weekend. And working fast in the first appearance for any Arkansas reliever after Gabe Gackel goes 5 2/3.
Yeah, McGuire features an electric fastball. It'll sit mid-90s.
That one's punched back up the middle. It is not gloved out of the air. The throw had to come to first as Aloy didn't get there in time, but he makes the play anyway. And McGuire gets a quick out to end the frame. Hogs coming to bat, down 2 runs. 2-0 lead for Kansas State going to the bottom of the 6th. A huge reason why, Pat, has been the performance of this man, Jacob Frost, with a new career high. 6 strikeouts across 5 shutouts.
Yeah, Frost has been unbelievably impressive. By far, I think you could say his best collegiate start of his career. And yeah, the fastball is working tonight. And it's been electric. I mean, it's one of those fastballs. You look at a lot of the locations of that pitch. It's been down the middle. Arkansas bats have not been able to catch up to it.
You're talking about a guy who had a 7-inning no-hitter, but against the sort of competition of Arkansas, that's why you can make a good case. This is as good as he's looked. And he only struck out 4 in that 7-inning no-hitter against Cincinnati last season.
He's only allowed 4 base runners, a couple of hits, a couple of walks, pitching into the 6th inning.
But faces the heart of the Arkansas order. Big swing and a miss from Vahiva Aloy. Started at Sacramento State, did. Aloy was the WAC freshman of the year. Lightly recruited out of high school, even though he hit .350 as a high school senior. The fastball running outside.
Yeah, Frost has mixed his pitches in just enough to at least offer, you know, a couple of different thought processes with these Arkansas hitters. Like the breaking ball has been decent at times. That
like
time
there,
he spots it well, yeah, and then he'll throw an occasional changeup, but it's been 80% fastballs.
Fouled back on 1 and 2. Jacob Frost has experience pitching in big games. He went to the JUCO World Series with Wabash Valley College in Illinois. A native of St. Louis, stayed relatively close to home and was a part-time starter. Also had a couple saves in his time at JUCO, pitching against some really good hitters that are now at the D1 level. Just inside on 1 and 2.
And that's the pitch he struck out Aloy before. If it's just a little bit more closer to the middle of the plate, he was able to get that pitch underneath his hands. And
crack to the right side. English ranging back, looking up, gone! Vahiva Aloy cuts the deficit in half. It's a 2-1 game.
yeah, that time Frost speeds up Aloy's bat, throws the changeup, and just kind of hangs up out over the middle of the plate. Watch where he misses that pitch. Yeah, it's just extended out over the plate. Yeah, the changeup is at 86 miles an hour. It's just a little bit hard. Doesn't quite get the hitter off balance, and Aloy makes him pay for it. Nice catch by the fan at the front row. Grabs it with his bare hand. Now we hear the blue pig suing.
Reverberating around the ballpark. It should have been led by that guy who made the bare hand catch and acted like it was just, you know, an easy underhand toss from someone.
Right?
This ball's hit hard. Iredale to center, but he didn't catch all of it right in front of the track. Catch made by Dean. Fans are still juiced from that last homer. They're like anything off the bat. They're ready for another big fly.
They hadn't sat down yet. And this Arkansas crowd now have come alive with the home run from Vahiva Aloy. That's the lead in half.
Vahiva goes yard. Now his younger brother Kuhio Aloy digs in.
Well, some of the coaches at Arkansas say he might have more power than his brother Vahiva, so wouldn't that be something? The Aloy brothers, I'm sure you'll see this probably multiple times this year. Well, those brothers both go deep in the same game.
They both have 2 homers apiece now after Vahiva just went deep. This changeup misses outside. How long is your leash now if you're Pete Hughes?
Well, Frost's pitch count still at 72. I mean, that's serviceable. Yeah, he's probably got another inning or 2 if he can get some outs here.
Big swing and a miss. Kuhio Aloy wanted to go back up a home run on top of his brother in the team standings.
Yeah, that was not your singles type swing. He was trying to go upper deck here at Globe Life Field, right out of his shoes, almost out of his helmet.
The 2-1. Good location. Bottom of the zone, finds it for a strike. 2-2.
Kuhio started out at BYU as a pitcher, made the move to full-time hitter.
Fastball runs inside. 3-2. This game has been dominated by the pitching. Jacob Frost, most strikeouts in his career. Just 3 hits allowed, the 1 solo home run. Absolutely belted. And we are tied. A second Aloy brother goes deep in the inning. It's 2-2.
Well, Ben, I said you might see it happen this season. I didn't know it was going to happen this game, but how about the Aloy brothers? Brand new ball game. Now that was an upper deck shot. How about 117 on the exit velocity off the bat of Kuhio Aloy? No downer. 2-2.
.424 to dead left, and that will be all for Jacob Frost.
What an outing for that young man. He's got to be proud of keeping his team in this ball game. Nurtured that lead up until these home runs by the Aloy brothers. But that's a tremendous start for Jacob Frost. Something to definitely build on. He gives Pete Hughes somebody to think about for a potential Friday night starter.
Awesome outing for Frost. Ends in a frustrating way with the 2 solo home runs, and he exits for Blake Dean. The sophomore enters the fray for K-State. It's a tie game. We'll get you set up in the bottom of the 6th next. .2-2 game in the bottom of the 6th. This ballpark has some juice in it after solo home runs in the same inning from brothers Vahiva and Kuhio Aloy to tie the game. Chases Jacob Frost, the starter, and brings in Blake Dean. hard throwing right-hander out of Pete Hughes' bullpen as he fires the first pitch strike to Rocco Pepe, but this game just has taken on a whole different feel after those solo homers.
Yeah, the Hawaiian connection has struck.
High drive to right center. English going back. It's off the wall. Pepe putting a charge into that ball. Hits it 389 off the top of the wall and has a double to keep the hit parade going.
Well, the Hog Bats have awoken. This time off the bat of Pepe just misses a home run by a couple of feet. High off that bullpen wall in right center. Watch where this ball hits. Yeah, the Arkansas bullpen was just getting close. In fact, that was less than a couple of feet, might have been a couple of inches. Pepe keeping this rally going.
Blake Dean has to be thinking, what did I just walk into? As his curveball misses outside to Kendall Diggs. He was thrown into the fire a lot as a freshman. Had a great year on the Big 12 all-freshman team. Had the most appearances on the team with 29. And was usually the first reliever that Pete Hughes called into the game. It's not like this is a foreign situation, but still, the offense absolutely dialed in for Arkansas. Here, a good slider finds the zone.
Yeah, Dean had the most significant innings of any arm returning to this Wildcat bullpen. And yeah, oftentimes counted on. He was thrown right into the fire as a freshman and did well. Had a good, solid year.
Curveball misses outside, 2-1.
His fastball sits in the low 90s. It's a low 80s slider to complement. He's not been able to locate the slider just yet.
Go-ahead runner at second for Arkansas. Kendall Diggs, high pop foul. Kendall Diggs has had the flair for the dramatic in his career. His first ever SEC start in an Arkansas uniform. He had a walk-off 3-run homer against Ole Miss, but has been plagued by injuries the last couple of years. Had to play through a shoulder injury all last year. And waves and misses. Good looking slider from Blake Dean for the second out.
Yeah, great location on that pitch, breaking down in towards the back foot of Kendall Diggs. Yeah, Dean fools him with the slider. Started out inside corner, ends up on his back foot.
Crowd still buzzing from those 2 home runs earlier in the inning. Off the bat of Hiva and Kuhio Aloy, with Ryder Helfrich coming up. He punches one to the left side, but right at Maximus Martin, who makes the play. Well, the first time in Major League history 2 brothers hit a homer in the same game. It happened here at Globe Life Field. The Naylor brothers for the Cleveland Guardians in 2023. Tonight, Hiva and Kuhio Aloy have just gone yard in the same inning.
Yeah. How about that? The Hawaiian connection strikes twice. Arkansas makes this a brand new ball game.
A tie 2-2 game going to the 7th inning. There was not lots to get excited about for the traveling Arkansas fans until the bottom half of the 6th, but 2 solo homers have tied us up, and now it's all smiles. Those beers starting to get drinking, Pat. no more nervous energy anymore.
That's it. Well, there's a new energy in the building.
And Tate McGuire back out after finishing the 6th inning in relief of Gabe Gackle. Got the final out. Misses outside to David Bishop. 9-1-2 for Kansas State. And that's a slider that misses outside.
Well, McGuire's really coming off an impressive summer in the Cape. Really improved. One of the things that his pitching coach, Matt Hobbs, wanted to work on.
Here's a ball knocked down by Aloy. It would have been an unbelievable play to get Bishop out. It's an infield single.
Yeah, nice stretch there by Aloy just to knock it down. But one of the things Matt Hobbs wanted to work on was try to channel his pitches and really tunnel them better. So there was a distinct difference between the way he threw his fastball and his breaking pitch last year. And one of those 2 pitches to be tunneled better out of his hands so the hitters couldn't pick it up, and made a noticeable difference during his summer in the Cape.
First pitch strike taken by Dante Lewis.
McGuire's fastball mid-90s. The cutter's hard as well, 86 to 88. And a mid-80s changeup.
Lewis shows bunt again. Popped up and caught. Lewis can't get it down for K-State.
And just a couple of mistakes here for K-State's offense last couple of innings. We saw Nick English miss first base on that leadoff, what could have been a leadoff double. This time, Dante Lewis not able to get the sacrifice bunt down. We often talk about those little things, especially late in games, that teams can do to help themselves, and that time Lewis unable to advance Bishop.
Good looking slider on the wave and a miss by Micah Dean. Tate McGuire only got 2 appearances last year as a freshman. They all came in midweek games against much inferior competition. This ball hammered down the left field line. It's down, a fair ball, and trouble into the corner. Micah Dean gets it down. Bishop rounding third. Relay will not be attempted, and Kansas State, just like that, retakes the lead.
Well, that's how you pick up your teammate. Micah Dean hammers the double. It's a breaking ball that just kind of spins. His slider backed up and spun, didn't get to where it needed to go, and Micah Dean makes him pay for it. That ball gets down to that left field line and just rattles around in the corner. Charles Davlin had some problems trying to pick it up, and Bishop rounds all the way from first base across the plate. Kansas State regains the lead.
D. Kennedy check swing and offers. Just as you thought Arkansas had gained the momentum and was in a perfect position to ultimately take the lead. The resilience of Kansas State to come right back.
And that's that grittiness that Coach Pete Hughes talked about. Part of the culture at K-State.
Fouled back by Kennedy.
Well, you let the Arkansas crowd right into it. You take them right back out of it.
Pickoff throw, a good one. They got him. Dean hopped toward third right before McGuire made the spin.
Yeah, not sure if Dean was going to try to take off on the pitch, but he had a big lead, and that little hop at the end. Yeah, that may have got him. It was a really close play at second base. Nolan Souza with the tag. Nice spin by Tate McGuire. K-State will not challenge it.
They will not. No, 2 misses down low with the slider. This is an inning that's played out extremely quickly. Bishop, the base hit. Lewis pops out, attempting to bunt him over. Chopper foul on 1 and 2.
Boy, second huge base running mistake by the Wildcats in 2 innings. Go back to the English missing first base on a potential double, and now the pickoff at second.
The 1-2. Check swing in the dirt. He went. Kennedy tagged out. Tate McGuire gets a punch out to end the inning, but Kansas State bounces right back. David Bishop, the leadoff single, taken home by Mike and Dean on a double. It's stretch time at Globe Life Field. 3-2, K-State on top. Stretch time during a great back-and-forth game. 3-2 Kansas State on top of Arkansas to the bottom of the 7th. The 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Amegy Bank. Well, the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. It continues during the midweek with a top 25 matchup. Number 3 LSU taking on 20th ranked Dallas Baptist this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. Catch all the action right here on Flow College. Super underrated part of this tournament expanding. Now we've got midweek games, Pat. You don't have to wait until the next weekend. It's awesome.
Well, it's absolutely correct. I mean, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you love baseball and you're still waiting for the Rangers to get here, that's another month away. Come see some great college baseball here at Globe Life Field. And yeah, Sean Decker, Jared Schramm, I mean, what a great job they have done getting some premier teams to the ballpark here for February baseball.
Olin Souza fouling off the 1-0 as we start this bottom of the 7th. 8-9-1 for Arkansas. How will this Kansas State bullpen hold up? Blake Dean got the final 2 outs of the 6th after Jacob Frost gave up a couple solo homers. Fastball just misses 2-1. Clearly, the way Pete Hughes is playing this, though, he wants to see Dean work as long as he possibly can as his top arm out of the pen.
Yeah, Dean could end up closing this game if he can get out. So that's the game plan.
Good looking slider there, makes it 2-2.
Yeah, well pitched game by both sides, both starters. Solid performances. Gacko, which we expected. Frost, we didn't really have any idea how that would work out, but how about that fastball catching the inside corner?
Little run front doors. Souza. Second strikeout for Blake Dean.
Yeah, great command by Blake Dean so far. Fastball looks like it's going to be in. It has some tremendous arm side run. John Bremer rings him up.
Slider runs outside. Blake Dean was not strictly just a 1 inning or so reliever as a freshman. He had 6 different appearances as that fastball finds the top of the zone. That went at least 3 innings, 6 different times.
Was it a strike? Just
it was
above
not.
the zone, yeah.
High pop foul that gets into the seats. Nowhere to hide if you're an umpire anymore. We've got everything tracked.
All that technology. Well, Bear Madliak, good job to frame that, buy that strike. You know, great catchers that frame well, typically on average will win about 4 to 6 pitches for their pitcher per game.
1-2 down low and outside on a slider, 2-2.
Ben, what do you think about the electronic strike zone now? They're introducing that in Major League Spring Training. Are you?
Yeah. We complain every game about missed calls. We have the technology to fix it.
Yeah,
it
we
seems
do.
pretty easy. Slider makes it 3-2.
I like how they're doing it, though. That the hitter or the pitcher can call for the challenge. And each team will get 2 challenges, and if they're successful, they can continue to use them.
That's on the inside corner. Had a little cut on it, and Blake Dean is dialed in. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, another nice pitch, well located on the 2-strike count to Thomas. This time catches the inside part of the plate. And just caught it according to pitch track.
That got him. Hits Chuck Davalon. That cut fastball was located really well. The first couple hitters. This one hits Davalon.
He just kind of pulled it.
And Vahiva Aloy, last time he was up, sent 1 yard into the right field seats. Now he comes up as the go-ahead run.
Yeah, not the plan, right? You'd rather face Aloy with nobody on in the 8th inning. Instead, he has to faces the potential go-ahead run at the plate.
Called strike 1.
In this situation, you want Aloy swinging the bat.
Big hack. Fouls it back, and it's 0-2.
Dean has a lot of options here. He can try to get Aloy to chase the fastball up, or just throw the slider down in the dirt again.
Not off by much on that 0-2 cutter.
That's good, though. Change the eye level. Now you go back downstairs with that slider.
Runner goes, chopped foul. Here's what Vahiva Aloy did the last time he was up. Sparked the Arkansas offense, something they desperately needed.
Yeah, he got the party started. Backside home run, and well struck. Watch the catch. Arkansas fan with the barehanded catch, and 2 batters later, his brother ties it up.
Smacked back up the middle, clean base hit for Aloy. Hard turnaround second, play at third. They got him. Davalon gunned down by Micah Dean, and Kansas State gets out of the inning.
Wow. What a throw from Micah Dean in center field, and Arkansas is going to challenge this. And you saw the immediate hands to the ears coming from the base runner, Charles Davalon. He feels like he got his hand underneath the tag, but ball hammered really hard. I just did not think Davalon was going to come around for third base. Never want to make that third out there, but there's the throw, there's D. Kennedy, there's the tag. Now the question is, did the hand of Davalon get in before the tag? Well, it sure looks like it from that angle. That was a risky play by Davalon to go around second base.
I was a little surprised off the bat that he went, just because from second with the secondary lead, any ball to the outfield you figured he would score on.
That's right. Yeah, that's what makes it a high-risk play, especially ball hit that hard. And Micah Dean came hard charging. Made a tremendous throw, one hopper to D. Kennedy at third base. And that angle, you can't see where the tag was. It has to be the angle from the third base camera. Yeah, even that angle, you can't change the call.
Nothing we've seen would warrant an overturn.
Yeah, it was a great swim tag. You see that right arm from Davalang kind of coming up and behind him while he stretches out with that left arm. There's the only angle you can see that could possibly overturn that call. Yeah, third base umpire Mike Morris is right on top of the play. He's got the best angle on the field.
Mike Morris has been a busy man today. Called balls and
has.
strikes at the plate in our first game.
Yeah, I just think that's one of those calls where there's just not enough video evidence to overturn it. It's really difficult to see where that tag makes contact with Davalang in terms of where that left arm or left hand hits.
John Bramer announcing calls confirmed, and that ends the inning. What a lift from Kansas State in the field. The much maligned defense of the Wildcats comes up huge with Micah Dean gunning down Charles Davalang at third.
Yeah, one more look at it here. There's the catch, the tag, and the hand. Arkansas called out.
Kansas State 6 outs away from pulling off an upset over fifth-ranked Arkansas. 3-2 to the eighth inning. And the third pitcher of the night for Arkansas. It's the lefty Parker Coyle, fastball slider type guy who presents a really unique angle to opposing hitters.
Yeah, Parker Coyle, really dependable. He's a strike thrower, really commands the zone well. It's the 89, 92 mile-an-hour fastball. The cutter's not that much less. He'll throw it upper 80s. It does offer a different angle, different look. He sits up on that far left side of the mound.
Chop to the right side off the bat of Seth Dardar. Thrown out by Nolan Souza as it's 4, 5, and 6. Nick English coming up next. They use Coyle a lot in short spurts. Already his third appearance this season and his 34th now in his third year as a Razorback.
Yeah, tremendous setup guy and really knows his role, very comfortable in that role, and becoming a left-handed specialist with that tight cut fastball. Really difficult to pick up off his hand.
Slider catches the outside edge on Nick English. That one misses inside. What's particularly hard about Nick English's 0 for 3 line is that it should not be 0 and 3.
Yeah,
he reached base. He had a double, but he missed the bag. Waves and misses at a fastball on 1-1.
Yeah, that's one you just kind of kick yourself thinking, gosh, even if he did happen to graze the bag going through there, it's just, you know, so hard for the umpire to see that. And he definitely stepped over it, but tried to drag that back foot. I mean, that's one that can stay with you for a while.
Fouls it off. I don't know if there's a worse feeling in baseball than that, just on the embarrassment scale.
Well,
I did it. It happened to me once. And this is, you know, high school field where this pitch is outside. You know, your coach is over at third. You're in the first base dugout, and I got yelled at to go talk to him. So I have to walk in front of all the parents.
Oh, yeah.
Circle behind the backstop. And one of the parents, like, you know, quietly, as that one's fouled off, is like, "Hey, you didn't miss it, did you?" And I was like, yeah, I did. What am I going to say?
Yeah, yep. You play baseball long enough, Ben, you're just
like
going to do something dumb. Yeah, it's inevitable, right?
All my coach said to me was, well, you'll never do that again.
Good response.
Chopper to the left side. Vahiva Aloy, high throw, but a nice job by Rocco Pepe to keep his foot on the bag. 2 quick outs in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, that was a big stretch from Pepe at first base, and Aloy's tipping his cap, saying, "Thank you, I owe you something." Couple of quick outs here for Parker Coyle.
Brings up Maximus Martin. You see that clear mask he's wearing. First pitch curveball just misses. That is new. He took a ball to the face last weekend. It was a tough weekend for Kansas State in more ways than one, especially for Maximus Martin. Broken cheekbone.
Oh,
man. And it was a struggle for everybody K-State wise as they lost 3 of 4 and then had to go to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. They had to move the game up because it was snowing all day Wednesday. He skies one into right. Diggs ranging back, but has a play on the ball and kind of awkwardly leans back, but does make the catch. Parker Coyle gets the Wildcats in order in the top of the 8th. 3-2 game to the bottom half. K-State to the bottom of the 8th. It really started getting interesting in the 6th with 2 solo home runs by the brothers Aloy, Vahiva, and then Cujillo. And that got this game going in the 6th.
Yeah, sure did, man. And Jacob Frost was just cruising up until those 2 swings. Well, the Hawaiian connection, the brothers, it wasn't back-to-back, but in between hitters, they tied this game up. Then the 7th inning, how about the comeback? K-State right back at it. Single by David Bishop, the double by Micah Dean put the Cats back on top, and starting to get a sense that K-State has become the hog killer. They beat them last year in their regional in Fayetteville. K-State advanced to the Super, lost to Virginia. Virginia ends up in the College World Series, but a team that has given Arkansas fits the last couple of years.
You know there's revenge on the mind for Arkansas, especially their fans, but Kansas State has held their nerve tonight. How about Micah Dean, the go-ahead double, then makes a great play. The throw to D. Kennedy at third to nab Charles Davalon. That's how the bottom of the 7th ended, and it's a first pitch ball to Brent Iredale.
Yeah, defensive play of the game in my mind so far. The throw from Micah Dean in center field to nail Charles Davalan coming around from second base.
Swing and a miss. And Iredale 1-1. How can another Dean on the roster, Blake Dean, continue his great pitching? Check swing and an offer.
Yeah, good slider from Dean. Boy, that pitch has really worked well.
Driven hard to the left side, fielded by Kennedy. A couple pumps of the glove and makes the throw.
A strong arm by D. Kennedy at third base. He was waiting for his first baseman, David Bishop, to get set up. Bishop was playing way off the line at first base, and a couple of pumps just to allow his first baseman to get set. Strong throw.
Now Kuhio Oloy hit the second of the solo home runs in that 6th inning. It's a shame Arkansas does not play on the actual National Siblings Day this year. They play the day after. It's April 10th. I'm sure everybody knows that automatically.
I had no idea that there was even a day for Siblings Day.
I didn't either until last year when the Naylor brothers homered in the same inning, and they became the 6th pair of brothers ever. As that pitch misses just high. At the major league level, 6th pair of brothers since 1900. So
Wow.
we're talking 125 years. It's happened
pretty historic.
6 times at the major league level. I don't know what it is at the college level, but I do know that it's happened tonight. Big swing and a miss by Aloy.
Well, that is historic.
They asked the Naylor brothers when that happened if they knew it was National Siblings Day. Neither of them knew. High pop-up foul by Aloy.
You see Aloy kind of open up that front side. He's kind of cheating to that inside corner. See if Dean goes something down and away on this next delivery.
The 2-2 to Aloy. Another hot shot foul.
Yeah, you don't want to miss there. Stay away from that inside part of the plate. He is just geared up for that pitch.
He and his brother, they're so similar in their batting stance. Oh, this, by the way, that was the previous foul ball. Texas fan, the one Texas fan here somehow ended up with that foul ball. Swing and a miss with the slider.
That's the pitch. Something breaking away off the plate. Kind of see Aloy cheat with that front shoulder. Yeah, and it just kind of bails out. Good pitch by Dean, and K-State staff are picking up on that.
And the Wildcats now 4 outs away as Arkansas looks for a spark as they go to Cam Kojal. Player brought off the bench. Kojal getting a crack at it here in the bottom of the 8th. And what a big moment for Blake Dean. Get out of this inning clean. You'd get the bottom of the order due up for Arkansas in the 9th. Keep that pitch count in a position where you could come back out for another inning. Here he just misses inside, 1-0. Catches the outside edge, 1-1.
Yeah, I'm sure Pete Hughes is just thinking Dean's going to be our close this game, and so far so good for Dean. Kojal with a lot of pop though. One swing can make a difference.
Called strike 2. You watched him in the Astros Foundation tournament last year, and he was amazing as a freshman for Vanderbilt.
That's right. He had an outstanding tournament, led to a great season for him.
Fastball outside, 2-2. He did not play against Arkansas. Vanderbilt and Arkansas did not square off in the season schedule at all, but was an SEC Freshman of the Week at one point. It's a high fly ball to right, but missed it. Nick English camps under it. and makes the catch. How about Blake Dean? 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th, as K-State looks to pull off the upset. They lead going to the 9th. Let's look at how this well-played game has gone. Single runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 7th for Kansas State as they lead 3-2 over Arkansas. The Hogs got solo homers in the bottom of the 6th from the brothers Vahiva and Kohio Aloy, but has not been enough. As we go to the 9th inning and a new pitcher on the mound, it's the veteran Will McIntyre. He has meant so much to this Arkansas program over the years. Now a redshirt senior. They call him Will the Thrill. Or Mac Daddy. He's been around long enough to get multiple nicknames and is as dependable as they come.
Yeah, I looked at the roster to see Will McIntyre still part of this Arkansas pitching, roster. I'm like going, this guy's got to be 80 years old, man. He's been around forever. 5th-year senior, though, returns for another go with the Hogs, and he has been super dependable. How about last year? 5-0 with 4 saves, 54 innings, 65 strikeouts.
McIntyre's job now in his 67th career appearance is to keep this a one-run game. Faces the bottom of the order. Bear Madliak up first.
Yeah, McIntyre won't overrun you with his stuff. It's upper 80s fastball, but man, just bulldogs it. He just figures out how to get guys out. That's what I love about watching pitchers pitch today. It's not always about the velocity.
Finds the outside edge. Known as a polished strike thrower, Will McIntyre. He proved you can excel at the highest level of college baseball, even if you don't throw super, super hard. He's ahead 0-1 on Madliak. Just missed outside. You go back to 2022. He was in the weekend rotation. He went 7 innings, struck out 9 against Auburn in the College World Series, tied for the 2nd most Ks in team history in Omaha. This one's poked back up the middle. Soft liner that gets down right in front of Justin Thomas. And a nice piece of hitting by Madliak, poking that one to center for a leadoff hit.
A couple of hits tonight. A walk from Madliak. Super productive offensively. He's been a wall behind the plate. Key addition for this Wildcat team. Type of production out of your bottom 3, you got to be happy if you're Pete Hughes. And puts a good swing on it off the end of the bat.
Fastball taken on the outside edge. Would make sense to go bunt here. Kansas State, with their speed on the bases, traditionally a small ball team. They were top 4 in the Big 12, 26 sacrifice hits last year. The bunt is down. Perfectly done by Inoue with the throw from McIntyre to Cam Kojal, who was a defensive replacement last inning, then got his first AB. Still in there for the first out.
Yeah, well done. Advances Madliak to second base. Of course, K-State just playing for an extra run. They'd like some insurance here.
Second successful sacrifice tonight for K-State. Arkansas has tried to bunt multiple times. It is 2025. We're not used to seeing this much bunting anymore. That ball squirts past Helfrich back there on the off speed with David Bishop at the plate. That allows Madliak to go to third.
Yeah, that's a huge play there because now Arkansas is going to have to pull their infield in. Bishop will be looking to put something in play, preferably deeper to the outfield. Madliak not with great wheels. Bishop will have to get it out of the infield.
A cue shot fouled on the first base line. David Bishop was the true leader of the team in their postseason run. You don't see that often for a guy hitting in the 9-hole. But has had some big moments both at Kansas State and also at TCU where he started. Had a walk-off grand slam at the start of his career for TCU. Good fastball on the inner half, 1-2.
Yeah, Bishop didn't like it, but well spotted by McIntyre.
Despite the frame job by Helfrich, it's not enough. Just low on the fastball, 2-2.
Yeah, just a tad downstairs, but Helfrich got his thumb underneath it. Gave it a good look.
Punched back up the middle. In comes Thomas. He has range to it, and he makes the catch. They do send Madliak play at the plate, and he's out by a mile. A shallow fly to center. Justin Thomas with that speed all over it, and an ill-advised decision to try to score by Madliak.
Yeah, high-risk play going from third base here, but Thomas just throws a bullet to home plate. That's a strike. Helfrich, easy tag on Madliak, and what a play by Arkansas to keep this a one-run game.
Last chance for Arkansas in the bottom of the ninth to start off this Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. What a well-played game on both sides. High-level pitching, defense, timely hitting. And it's Blake Dean missing outside. Facing the bottom of the Arkansas order, 6, 7, and 8. What a moment for a pitcher in Blake Dean, Pat, who a lot of folks thought as he misses inside. Could be the staff ace at the start of the year. Well, here he is pitching in the most important position tonight.
Yeah, it just shows his versatility to be able to come in a situation, high leverage situation where he can now close a game. Of course, being extended in this outing. He's had a good start already. Arkansas to no runs.
2-0 slider just nipped the zone. Arkansas fans not a fan of that. The bottom of the order has not done much. Just 1 for 12, but Diggs loops a shallow fly ball. That's trouble, and it's down. Make that 2 for 13. Kendall Diggs' his first base hit to start the ninth.
Well, you just got to love the story of Kendall Diggs. Of course, a big part of the Hogs lineup last couple of seasons. Did not play this fall. Recovering from an injury to a non-throwing shoulder. And you get him healthy, you can just pencil Diggs in. He's going to have a big offensive year. This time, it's this what will be a hopeful rally for Arkansas going here to the ninth inning.
Ryder Helfrich, the sophomore, digs in. Takes a curveball down low. Diggs the tying run aboard to lead off the ninth. Helfrich, who struggled mightily last year, is up. A big hack out in front of a slider. He admitted it was a rough freshman year. He actually made his phone's lock screen a screenshot of his baseball reference page, because the baseball reference page showed he hit 179 with 28 strikeouts, showing bunts, and he fouled that one off. Tough to bunt a slider, and it's 1-2.
Hey, he was trying to bunt to that right side. You got David Bishop holding Diggs on at first base. There's a shift. That second baseman, pulled over behind second base, so not a bad idea for Helfrich to try to push bunt.
The 1-2. Upstairs on a slider, 2-2. Despite all the struggles for Ryder Helfrich last year, he used those stats as motivation, went to the Cape Cod League, tied for the league lead with 11 homers. It's a drive to left field. Lewis ranging back, has room, and makes the catch. Well, for a moment, Arkansas fans thought Ryder Helfrich had just won the game, but he missed it by about 15 feet.
Yeah, didn't quite barrel it up. The slider breaking away, just got off the barrel of his bat. Gave it a drive, but plenty of room for Lewis out in left field.
Brings up Nolan Souza, 0 for 3 with a couple punch outs. But the coaches keep him in with the lefty-righty matchup. And waves through a slider. Line foul, 0-2.
Backdoor slider that time from Dean. He has really spotted that ball well. A lot of options for Dean. Try to change the eye level, go up with the fastball, or try to bury the slider.
Arkansas just 1 for 12 tonight with runners on base. That slider didn't miss by much, looking for the back door.
Yeah, pitch track shows it just off the plate.
One and two the count, one down, bottom 9. Swing and a miss. Back to the slider for Blake Dean, and the Wildcats are an out away.
Yeah, that slider had some downward tilt to it. Really gets on top of this. Boy, tight spin. Almost looks like it backs up on him, but yeah, tilts to the bottom of the zone, and Souza swinging over the top of it. Hogs down to the last out.
Blake Dean has gone 3 1/3, scattering 4 hits with 5 strikeouts, and fires a first pitch strike to Justin Thomas, who has really struggled tonight. 3 strikeouts, 2 of them looking.
He's probably going to see nothing but Mr. Nasty right here. I don't think Dean's going to give in with a fastball anywhere close to hit.
This feels like the crucial AB. Arkansas has the top of the order due next. Grounded to the left side, handled by Kennedy. The throw is in time. Kansas State pulls the upset 3-2, and look what it means to the Wildcats.
Well, the Hawk Killers strike again. 2 wins in a row for K-State over Arkansas. This one with not quite as large of a situation of what happened last year in the regional, but Kansas State needed a win nonetheless. Started off the season 1-4. Arkansas rolled in 4-0. Let the Cats pull the upset.
It's all about the deans for Kansas State. Micah, who's a freshman from Texas, with the go-ahead and game-winning double. Look at Blake Dean. Oh, man, no relation. Blake's from Ackworth, Georgia, but wow.
Yeah, it was a big outing for him. 3 2/3 innings for Blake Dean. Only gives up the 3 hits, strikes out 5, but clean innings for Blake Dean. So Jacob Frost gives K-State an unbelievable start up until the 2 home runs by the Alloy brothers. And Blake Dean comes in and just slams the door for Kansas State.
Let's go down to our player of the game interview. Leanza Peroni standing by.
A top 5 win tonight. Coach said this weekend was about getting back on track. What does a win like tonight do for the momentum of this team?
It's huge, really. We've done a great job of bouncing back after a loss, but we're having each other's backs, and we're trying to make it happen this week and get us rolling.
Your pitchers absolutely showed out tonight on the mound. Talk about the composure you saw from those guys in front of a very loud Arkansas crowd.
Oh, it was just like second nature. They do it every day. Every scrimmage we do, keep their composure and just throw strikes. That's what they do.
The dugout was loud the entire game. What does the energy from these guys do for you to get the bat swinging?
Oh, they've got a mentality of next guy up. If you mess up, next guy's got your back. We're going to make it happen. So that's our mentality, and we're going after it.
You hit the game-winning RBI. What was your approach when you stepped up to the plate for that pitch?
Honestly, just try to go yard, and after the first swing, I tried to shorten up a little bit and just put it in play for the team.
Big win tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Leanza, with our player of the game, Micah Dean. Workmanlike performance from Kansas State, Pat. You would not have known this was a group scuffling at 1-4 to start the season.
No, a totally different energy that they brought, and obviously the output is what it is. They beat Arkansas, ranked number 2 in the country, and what a night for Kansas State. I mean, all phases of the game, other than the base running. But how about Micah Dean tonight? Has the double, the go-ahead run. But how about the throw from center field? That was a game clincher.
Defensive play of the game as this one comes to an end. Night 1 in the books from our Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. Tomorrow we start at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 locally, Michigan and Kansas State, followed by the headliner Arkansas and TCU. As for Lucas Haskins and our entire production team, Pat Combs, Leanza Peroni, I'm Ben Wilson saying goodnight from Globe Life Field in Arlington. Our final score, Kansas State 3, Arkansas 2.